So Kids Helpline is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And one of the things that we've noticed since the beginning of this very challenging situation that everyone's been going through, we've really had such a surge in contacts. So towards the end of February, we were sort of tracking at around 6,500 contacts a week from young people. Since then, early March and continuing onwards, we've really been averaging about 9,000 contacts a week. So a young person is connecting to Kids Helpline every minute of every hour of every day. So it gives you some sense of just how young people are feeling as we've gone through COVID-19. It's certainly been something that we're challenged by to meet that demand. But thankfully, we had already had plans in place to bring online a new counselling centre with a new cohort of staff, which we're able to do that last Monday. So each and every day, hundreds and hundreds of young people are able to connect with our qualified counsellors to get the help that they need when they need it. I guess some of the things that we've seen increasing over the last 6 weeks are mental health and emotional wellbeing, particularly young people who potentially have an existing condition that's been amplified by the current challenges. And then, of course, for our younger cohort, challenges around family relationships and really just genuine worry and concern and care about what's going to happen to the family. We had young people contacting who were extremely worried about their grandparents and what it was going to mean to them. But now, of course, we've got families where economic hardship is becoming a reality, and children are worried about their parents and want to talk through how they can help their families and what it's going to mean to them. And then, of course, unfortunately, we continue to see some spikes around child protection. So the most vulnerable in our communities are often the ones that now are really struggling with the isolation that we are all undertaking. But for them, home isn't a safe place. So Kids Helpline is their safe place where they can get help when they know the counsellors are there for them. So really just trying to play that safety net role for all children and young people, and very much so at the moment.
And Tracy, I guess the thing that Kids Helpline has as well is that they don't just have to call you now. You've kind of adapted the social media phenomenon of, the youth. How else can kids contact Kids Helpline?
Well, telephone was always the beginning, and today young people can connect still over the phone. They can connect by email, and we have real-time web chat. And real-time web chat is really where the surge has come from. Young people love to be online. It's the space where they feel very comfortable. But we've really tried to, over the years, use all the information that we have from young people, their experiences, their journeys, to create tools that help them individually. So the Kids Helpline website is a fantastic resource. Lots and lots of information there for children, for teens, for young adults, and for parents, mums and dads who want to go online and get some tip sheets and sorts of question starters or conversation starters. They're all there. And increasingly, we find that we use Facebook and Instagram and the social channels to provide good little snippets of information to young people. So anxiety has been a big issue, for example, right now. So putting some tips and strategies out there in the social world about how to manage that, how to keep calm, some practicing that people can do, mindfulness, all of the things that just allow young people to have some tips that they can manage their own well-being. And sometimes that's all they need. They don't actually need to speak to a counsellor.
It's interesting. I was just sharing with the amazing guests that you can see here in the gallery. And I thought, gosh, with all of what's going on at the moment, we've got our kids at home. We're allowing them to have more IT time just so they can socialise with their friends. But there's greater threats out there as well, not just in the home, isn't there?
Well, no, that's right. And certainly at this time, the online mediums provided a great means for connectivity. Unfortunately, we are also seeing some very predatory behaviour towards young people and indeed towards adults as well. We are hearing about people looking to take advantage of others. And so I think what we keep promoting to young people is their own awareness, their own vigilance, using all the tools that so many of them have been taught as they've gone through school and indeed in their homes, making sure they're top of mind. But for parents also to make sure that they're really being quite vigilant in supporting their children online and encouraging them to actually come forward with that, because lots of children feel very apprehensive about bringing these challenges to their parents for fear that the parent might take the device away. So they keep these sort of things to themselves. And I think it's about creating that space to make sure the conversation is being had and normalising it and even talking about it before it actually happens, so that children do know what to do when it does. There's so much good going on right now, but we can't discount the fact that this is also an opportunity that people are going to use to take advantage of others.
Well, Tracy, just on that, of the 9,000 calls, I think Marie shared with me, only less than 40% of those actually get answered, and you're actively training and trying to bring on new counsellors. Is that where our funds are going to go for you?
Well, absolutely. New counsellors, more counsellors. We've actually undertaken a bit of a campaign, because we have a great group of counsellors, but occasionally they might leave us and take a job somewhere else. But many of them we've sort of been making approaches for them to come back right now and help us as casuals and increasing our work pool. So your money will go directly towards paying these extra people we've got coming on right now to help this surge. So I really want to assure you that you can actually almost visualise the fact that a counsellor will be connecting with a young person, and that may well be a young person who is in extreme crisis. And unfortunately, we get those calls each and every day. So, and I think that's something that you can also take away. We often say to people, when we're asked, well, who are the kids that use Kids Helpline? Well, I always say to people, they live in your house, in your street, they go to your schools, they're part of your community. So it's something that people can really resonate with.
It's interesting. I had quite a few people, have watched our videos and seen what we've been doing. And one of the community members, but I've been getting a lot of private messages from people who have said, from so-and-so's first talk, I just got so much clarity. And from this person's talk, I didn't want to talk about mental health with someone else. And so I've actually got huge more amounts of comments personally than I have actually on the videos in our club. But one of the people who reached out, and she would be in her 70s, I would say, and she mentioned that she said, how did you get onto Kids Helpline? I said, how do you know them? She said, they saved my life when I was 15. I reached out to them and I was about to commit suicide. And it just shows the amount of time and beautiful person, beautiful family now that, you've really you created over the many years to helping not just children of now, but, young adults and parents of today as well over the years. So it's incredible what Kids Helpline have done. And any support that we can give, we will continue to give to you.
Well, thank you. And of course, Kids Helpline has always been and continues to be funded by the community. We of course, do get government funding, but nowhere near the level of funding we get through the generosity of people who simply do believe in the work that takes place and who benefit from it. So we are so appreciative, and certainly, again, to the group, thank you, because you really are going to make a big difference.
Well, Tracy, I don't know if you want to hang around for a bit of fun, or you've probably got a lot of meetings to do, but if you do, please do, because we're going to do a bit of a recap with the people that have